Okay.
Aloha, everybody. Here we are, play-by-play radio. We've been here talking, but the mic was having some technical difficulties. Right now, it's the end of the Mike Perry and Max Griffin fight. Mike Perry looking pretty busted up, lots of blood. I know he was knocked down during the fight. They're showing highlights of the fight right now. Max Griffin picks up the unanimous decision. Coming up next, in the next fight, we got Ovin St. Preux versus Ilir Latifi, followed by Jessica Andrade and Tisha Torres. And in the main event, we've got Jeremy Stephens and Josh Emmett. Once again, guys, thank you for joining us. And I'm so sorry that we're coming in so late today. BJ was at the airport on his way back to the Big Island, and I was off coaching T-ball. But we're here. We made it in, and we're finishing up the card for you guys. I know most of you guys are sitting at home watching this on free TV. But for those of you that are unable to watch it, hurry up and come on in. And we got you covered for the remainder of the card. Reagan, how's it going, man? After all the technical difficulties, we're smoothing it out now or what?
Yeah, it looks good. I guess we started off with our microphone on mute. but yeah, here we go. Ovin St. Preux, 6'3", 205 pounds, 34. Coming off of 3 wins in the UFC, all finishes. His last one, a KO head kick. And he's fighting Ilir Latifi. And he's coming off a win over Tyson Pedro by decision. Just back in September. So interesting fight. Always fun to see these bigger guys go in there. And yeah, Ovin St. Preux already fought with Jones. And we'll see what he does tonight.
I think this is going to be a big striking match. Both guys pretty well known for their knockouts. Of course, St. Preux, man, he's been on a tear. He's won his last 3 against very tough opponents. Put Corey Anderson to sleep, knocked him stiff with a head kick in the last contest. And both fighters are about to start making their walk. Here, UFC Fight Night, live on Fox. Man, that fight with Mike Perry and Max Griffin, that's one that I definitely was excited about watching. I myself didn't get to actually start watching the fight until the second round. I looked, oh man, Mike Perry's pretty busted up. And Max Griffin, shame on me, I don't know too much about the guy. I think it might have been his UFC debut. Shame on me if it wasn't. But definitely a good showing versus Mike Perry. Mike Perry, he made a lot of promises. He was promising a devastating finish in this fight and this and that. And I root for the guy because he makes me laugh. I like Mike Perry a lot. And I was bummed to see him in the condition he was as I walked in the second round. I also watched him get knocked down, which a good display of technique and good striking from Max Griffin. I think he landed like the differential in the effective striking was huge, like 70 punches to like 13 or something at one point. But yeah, man, those of you that were rooting for Mike Perry, he dropped another one. Right now they're at a commercial break leading up to the Ovin St. Preux versus Ilir Latifi contest. Then, of course, followed by Jessica Andrade versus Tisha Torres in the female. What's that? 115? Is that bantamweight? No, what is it? What's the female weight division? Strawweight. The female strawweight division. And big main event, Jeremy Stephens versus Josh Emmett, 2 big punchers. One guy who I think he's a lot more talented than people really recognize at this point. I think he definitely got a lot of people's attention in his last contest, knocking out Ricardo Lamas. But here he is sitting in a main event contest versus Jeremy Stephens. Josh Emmett representing the Team Alpha Male crew. I believe Jeremy Stephens is with Eric Del Fiero down there in San Diego. I actually fought. Eric Del Fiero used to have a promotion called Total Combat. Actually, had a good relationship. Fought there a couple times down there in Tijuana, Mexico, in the Baby Rock nightclub. Crazy times, man, where there's like cologne sprays in the bathroom, and then you walk out and go watch some fights. Reagan, what's going on with you, bro?
No, just checking it out. Josh Emmett actually looking like he should be a good fight with Jeremy Hampton.
And he has a ton of UFC fights. I didn't even know that Josh Emmett had that many UFC fights. He's been around for a long time. Both guys bringing a lot of experience to the table. If you look at the opposition of Emmett, though, it's definitely not like the opposition of Jeremy Stephens. You know, I mean, Jeremy Stephens holds a win over Dos Anjos. He's knocked out, you know, some top guys. He recently Korean Superboy TKO, and like he said, when he hits people, a lot of them they end up not moving, you know, asleep. So could be some action in the main event tonight.
Here, so they're just showing some knockouts that St. Preux had, and he's just another guy who kind of just reminds you of John Jones, you know, just another huge guy and biggest guy in the playground. And yeah, Ilir Latifi, not the biggest guy, but yeah, they're just showing some highlights right now as we wait for this next fight.
Man, he's been messing up. Kind of St. Prue's been messing up some people with the Von Flue choke as well.
Yeah, I noticed that there's 2 submissions it said in his before his last head kick.
Yeah, he wasn't really well known for his submission game or his grappling game. Former Tennessee college football player, but man, he's been taking down guys, getting to side, and I think maybe even putting them to sleep with that shoulder choke is what they're calling it. But a lot of us old schoolers, we know it as the Von Flue choke.
At 22 wins, 10 knockouts, 7 by submission. Yeah, very, very well-rounded, you'd have to say.
And coming from a camp where, I mean, do you know some of his active fighting training partners?
Who are they?
That's my question to you. So, I mean, there is those guys, you know, that they don't come from huge camps with super well-known fighters surrounding them. And
Justin Fisher's from his camp, it seems.
Yeah, you know that guy?
No.
But yeah, and like Derek Lewis, what camp is that? Like how many guys they got fighting out of their gym, and you know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys, they're doing such a great job, and they're not coming from the teams like, you know, American Top Team and AKA, where you're surrounded by top tier level guys, and they're out there running the show.
Yeah, I guess there's enough good people to train with that anybody anywhere can compete. I guess it's always been like that with guys training in their garage and still.
Because what Ilir Latifi, what he trains with Gustafsson, that crew of guys, Gustafsson, Jimmy Manoa. So and not only that, they're similar in weights. You know, Manoa, him, Gustafsson.
Oh wow,
yeah. Look at that gym. Who all those guys? I mean. So yeah, I mean, why are we even talking about this? Because to me, it's interesting. What is that? Pancrase Gym, Sweden? Yeah, but even that, I mean, it's a bunch of guys that's listed on SureDog that fight, but not many of them 205. All light guys. 145, 155, 135. Anywho, if you go on to Twitter, leave the hashtag #PlayByPlayRadio. You can ask us any questions that you feel may need answering. It's a way you can talk to us, see what's going on. Hopefully, BJ will be in soon, joining us. Also, go ahead and share, you know, on your social media accounts. Go ahead and give us a share. Send it out there. Just some more ears to join us, because honestly, if I didn't know what was going on and I was watching the fights, I heard, hey, watch the fights with BJ. He's calling the fights. I'll say, hey, well, I don't know what they have to say about it. And I go ahead, play that. Maybe simultaneously with the broadcast. We don't mind. Definitely looking forward to this fight starting here. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air for me personally, because amongst those last several cards we've had, you know, it actually takes a little while until you start recognizing some of the fighters. It just seems like they've been flooding the cards as of late with some of the more up and comers, and which is good. It's going to create, you know, even more well-rounded fighters for us to be fans of. But it is that point where you're like, man, I don't know anybody fighting on this card, you know, which can get less exciting sometimes, especially when you're paying $60 for a pay-per-view and you can barely recognize who's fighting on the card. But it kind of seems like that's the goal that they're heading for in this 2018. What do you feel? What do you think about that, Rich?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. You know, just keep throwing people out there. If it's their first time in the UFC, they should go put it all out there on the line. You know, but maybe if they get a few wins, it's their title shot. Sometimes there is those main event cards. They build up a lot of hype, and it just doesn't have it. But here we are, Ovince St. Preux and Ilir Latifi.
Both men, 34 years old. St. Preux stands 6'3". and a half, 206, 80-inch reach. Ilir Latifi, the shorter man, 5'10", 206, with a much shorter reach at 73 and a half. So St. Pierre, you know, a bunch of reach on him, good 4 inches of reach, was it? And several inches in height. So definitely
7 inches in reach.
7 inches in reach, sorry. Ilir Latifi, 14-5, no contest, stands 5'10", 206, fighting out of Malmo, Sweden.
Did it show his ranking right there? No,
I don't believe him. He may not be in the top. I don't know. He's guaranteed within the top 15. You know?
Yeah, he's fought top guys, right?
Yeah. Very, very tough, well-rounded guy. Now heading to Ovince St. Preux. Ovince St. Preux, sorry, 22-10, 6'3.5", 206 pounds, fighting out of Knoxville, Tennessee. He holds, you know, knockout victory over Shogun. He's got submission wins, big knockout wins. Ex-college football player, doing his thing.
Yeah, he always has a fun face when he's getting announced. Okay, here he is, referee Jorge Alonso. And round one should be beginning.
OSP looking relaxed. Take it away, Reg.
Okay, here they go. The small touch. Yeah, they don't really touch guns, touch gloves, kind of just pawing at each other's hands. Both men kind of in the middle. Ovince St. Preux pushing them outside of the black line right now, but they're still pawing at each other's hands. Ovince St. Preux kind of switching between southpaw and orthodox. Oh, a slow kick just misses for Latifi. And St. Preux just keeps pushing forward. Has him against the cage, goes for a left, and Latifi just ducks under it. Latifi now trying to circle away, a little more quick on his feet now. Latifi moving back a little bit more, not standing his ground as much. A little low kick by Latifi, and St. Preux kind of still just walking right through it, still pawing at each other's hands, their jab hands. St. Preux just kind of threw an uppercut. Latifi comes rushing in with a 1-2 combo, and a low kick lands for Latifi, and St. Preux tries to do a fake shot or something. Ooh, a side kick lands for St. Preux, and Latifi's on the black line as right now. St. Preux still pushing forward, trying to paw at his hand, trying to throw some kind of awkward jabs at Latifi. Latifi now backing up all the way to the cage, and St. Preux throws a left kick, and Latifi unloads a 1-2 and almost a 3-hit combo and backs away. Now both men are back to the center of the cage. 3 minutes, 50 seconds left. And they're both still in the center of the cage, pawing at each other's jab hands, trying to find an angle. Both men standing their ground, though, not giving an inch, really. Right in the center of the cage still. St. Preux trying to fake him out with some kicks. Latifi going for some hard kicks, and another left-right as St. Preux just backs away and out, and now starts coming forward, pushing Latifi back to the black line. And now St. Preux's right in front of him. Left hook misses for St. Preux, and Latifi does pretty much standing his ground, not letting him go to the fence. Now he starts circling away, and St. Preux has to follow him. Almost to the fence now. St. Preux kind of in his face. Latifi kind of ducks down a little bit. St. Preux kind of faking uppercuts. Oh, a high kick almost lands for Latifi and backs both the men back to the middle of the cage. And a low kick lands for Latifi. And Latifi just misses a right hand. And a big right hook misses for Latifi. And St. Preux still tries to press forward, though. And Latifi just circling out along the black line. A little jab to the body lands for Latifi, for St. Preux, and a high kick misses. Latifi still on the black line. St. Preux right in front of him, still pawing at each other's hands. Ooh, a left right just misses for Latifi, as St. Preux just backs away. Now Latifi in the center of the cage, kind of holding his ground, throwing some kicks, trying to keep his ground, pawing at each other's hands. A jab just misses for St. Preux, and Latifi going with some bomb left hands from his southpaw position. A low kick lands for St. Preux, and another side kick lands on the leg of Latifi. And Latifi's on the black line. A jab misses for St. Preux, and Latifi goes for a fake left hand. And St. Preux still throwing jabs at Latifi's hands, kind of pawing at each other's hands at the moment. Latifi on the black line. Another 1-2-3 from Latifi. And St. Preux just dodges out of the way, circles out. Not too much landing, but there is some leather being thrown, just kind of missing each other right now. St. Preux in front of each other. Latifi trying to throw a low kick, and another 1-2, just kind of missing. You can definitely see the reach advantage, and Latifi must have some good distance to be able to keep him at bay right now. Ooh, a left hand drops to St. Preux, and St. Preux goes rushing, and Latifi's on top, and 1, 2, 3, 4 right hands on the side of his head, and then left hand drops him again as St. Preux tried to get back up, and now he has him in a head and arm against the cage in a choke. He's trying to finish the choke right now, but he might not have it. St. Preux might be recovering right now, trying to get his head out. Could be in trouble. St. Preux goes to sleep. Ouch. Oh no!
Wow!
And there it is. Latifi very, very emotional right now.
Wow! I mean, from the beginning of the fight, Latifi showing a lot of respect to OSP, backing up, trying to figure out a way to get in. Wasn't finding much success. He was running in, throwing punches. OSP seemed very, very relaxed throughout the exchanges, and all of a sudden, I think it was a huge overhand right, I believe, waiting on the replay. OSP got knocked down, stood up real quick, was hanging onto the fence to stand up. His head was down. He looked up, big left hand from Ilir Latifi, and then caught him with a standing guillotine, and man, choked him out, dropped him sleeping. Showing it now, boom, big, yeah, it was a left overhand. Excuse me, drops OSP right there. OSP jumps back up, turns his back. Hits him a huge hard left hand, drops him again on the way up. He catches him with the guillotine. Very, very tight guillotine. OSP refusing to tap. Referee giving him a chance here. He shows. It looks like he was going to tap. It looked like he may not have even touched him when he attempted to tap. He may have gotten choked to sleep as he was tapping. But yeah, choked to sleep nonetheless. Ilir Latifi by technical submission is I believe what they call it, by a guillotine choke. Moving up that ranks.
Yeah, now he has to be ranked, I would imagine, because did we even notice what St. Preux was? I know at one time St. Preux was
he's right definitely up in the rankings for sure. And now being that it's on Fox, we got a whole lot of time to talk to y'all because that fight happened so fast. How y'all doing?
Okay,
let's go ahead and look into what's coming up next as we're in the commercial break real quick. We got a Tiny Tornado, Tisha Torres versus Jessica Andrade. And of course the main event, Jeremy Stephens versus Josh Emmett. But yeah, man. How's the weather where you are today? Because I'll tell you right now, the weather, I think pretty much all around Hawaii is just very, very wet. And kind of the day you want to stay in, hang out, grab some soup, watch some movies, or, of course, watch them fights on Fox Sports 1. It's one of those days. Man, beautiful, beautiful finish by Ilir Latifi in that last contest. Like I said, OSP looking very, very relaxed, almost like they had their game plan in place. And out of nowhere, big left hand. OSP went down. Another big left hand. OSP went down again. Catches him with the standing guillotine. OSP, it appears as though he was just about to tap or stop tapping halfway through the tap, and Ilir Latifi just dropped him like a wet can of paint. So now both men are standing in the middle of the octagon. Referee is waiting for the announcement.
Yeah, very impressive by Latifi. There they go. They just raise his hand. Standing guillotine choke. 3 minutes, 48 seconds of round. Oh, number 8 right now, Ilir Latifi. And let's see what they're going to say real quick.
So right now, Ilir Latifi, he said that he always goes for the finish. Shortly after saying that, looks over at DC, gives DC a call out. He says that he wants to fight him for the title, and walks up to DC and asks him, "So what? You want to do it?" I mean, I could tell you that answer if DC's thinking about fighting number 8 right now. But yeah, impressive performance nonetheless for Ilir Latifi.
Yeah, I mean, you got to promote yourself some way. He did. He said he's very respectful.
He's respectful, yeah.
Yeah, did it kind of respectfully, and yeah, you just got to make your name somewhere.
I think he might have made it a little louder if he just straight up started talking a little bit of trash. But
yeah,
that's what you would have to do, sitting at number 8 to try to get something with number 1, or the champ, not even higher than number 1, right?
Yeah, well, I kind of just like when they put on the show, whether they're talking or not. If they're not really as tentative, this is their big chance to make their moment. And the people who do, I think that's the ones that, people kind of notice. So
yeah.
And here he is walking out now with the crew.
But I mean, off of that right there, just asking DC, that's the fight he wants. What do you think? Let's do it. You think people are hungry to see that now, or maybe they're hungry to see him beat somebody in the top? But what was OSP ranked at the moment?
Well, yeah, I think pretty much anybody in the top 10, kind of just depending on what's happening on what day, they can. It seems like they can get bumped, or just in one single performance is kind of what changes the.
Who's next for? I mean, of course, he's fighting Stipe. Last thing he wants to think about is fighting Latifi right now. But when coming back to the light heavyweight division, who's coming up right now that he hasn't fought already? Light heavyweight.
Who, DC? Nobody.
So I guess
nobody. That's
I guess the shoe fits. I guess the shoe fits on calling him out there.
Yeah,
because might have been OSP that would have been calling him out, because OSP's had that run of three wins, right?
Oh, he would have. Yeah, OSP would have for sure been calling him out, and he's already been in there with Jones. Yeah, I think DC's. There's just nobody that would even have a chance right now, and his best entertainment for everybody is go up there and fight the heavyweight guy,
and then have John Jones get cleared and come in, fight him for the heavyweight title. That would be pretty epic.
Oh, if he got cleared for the heavyweight title, no weight cutting, that would be unbelievable.
Then you just hire a crew to follow John Jones around.
Yeah, both of them, man, at their maximum strength. Basically.
Like how HBO does the 24/7, UFC's gonna do that, and then just follow John Jones around vigorously.
Right, and, it seems like John Jones could be big, right? Like with his height.
Now, my opinion is my opinion, but honestly, for some reason, I don't know what it is. I believe John Jones, but I believe that he never cheated.
Yeah,
I just believe. I don't know why, but I believe it, and I do hope that he gets cleared to fight and he comes back soon. And that would be big if DC was able to obtain the heavyweight title from Stipe and then face John Jones in some kind of redemption match at heavyweight, where DC is yet to be defeated. He's beat some top tier competition at heavyweight, flipping guys over upside down like Josh Burnett, making it look easy. I don't think he had fights that he was in any danger of losing at heavyweight. So I don't know about maybe without cutting all the weight or whatever is the best DC you might see.
No, yeah, I mean we always see DC in a heavyweight a bunch of times, but imagine John Jones. So that's what would be the difference, I guess.
Yeah. How much weight does John Jones cut? Do you know? You've seen him in off time, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, when he's just in top-notch shape, abs, he's got to be like what 225, right? 220 with abs. So he's not not the lightest light heavyweight.
So we got the strawweight girls in the co-main event. Good for them. And it could be a very exciting fight too. Both women very, very well conditioned and skilled. Jessica Andrade, heavy punches with a strong jiu-jitsu background, good takedowns. It was her that flipped Claudia Gadelha over her head and like did some crazy man-like takedown.
Yeah, I can't really remember that fight. But then, yeah, I guess there was. Was there a turn? Did she turn him to get back on top? Because did Claudia win the first one, or no? Who won the first one? She beat Claudia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Andrade.
Oh, okay.
Which is probably why this is the co-main event. Brian, she had a tremendous takedown over Claudia Gadelha. Like that one was like, that looked like it kind of looked like a 135-pound. Dude picking up a 115-pound chick and just flinging her. That's what it looked like. The technique, anyway, it was unreal. And she's comes from a jiu-jitsu background. You know, she's not like I don't know. Is she a well-accomplished wrestler? If she is, forgive me. But
is that what happened? Did she get tired, Claudia, or what do you remember from the fight?
I think that she just beat her, landed more strikes, landed more takedowns, and had more ground control. So she won the decision. But
she did get some good takedowns though.
Who? Andrade?
Yeah.
I know there was one that was just probably one of it definitely was the one of the highlight, if not the best takedown in strawweight division history. It's guaranteed among the top 3 of slams. And she picked up Claudia and slammed her. Yeah, she's a strong chick. Yeah, but she used to fight up at 35, right?
Yeah, I can imagine that would take the wind out of anybody, right?
Did she fight up at 35s?
Okay, so 5'2", 5'1", Tisha Torres. What do you know of her?
She's been around since the early days of Invicta. She's always brought the fight, very high action. I don't think she's the type of chick that runs away ever. Her only loss is to Rose Namajunas, the current champion. So she has a little bit of a claim to make it up to that title, being that the only person that's ever beaten her is the current champion,
and by decision.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's impressive. Tisha Torres says she was actually one of the favorites to win her season as well. Super built chick in the bantamweight in the strawweight division. I keep saying bantamweight. Sorry. They just showed the slam, huh?
Just missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, Jessica Andrade's a little bit of a wild swinger. Kind of throws from the waist sometimes. She's got a good chin on her. She's taking head kicks from Joanna Champion. They're very tough. This is gonna be I think this one's gonna be a back and forth war. I don't think that either person is light years ahead of their opponent in anywhere. Tisha Torres does have some submission wins under her belt as well, so she's no slouch on the ground. But to think anybody could manhandle Andrade on the ground.
Interesting enough, Tisha Torres has 10 wins, 1 submission, 9 decisions.
Yeah.
So we can expect a decision
from her. Yeah, she's definitely down to go the distance. One submission and nine decisions out of 10 fights. So you guys, I guess let's just go ahead and give her the fan base rooting for that knockout tonight. She's gonna get one big huge knockout over Jessica Andrade, the first knockout in 11 fights. I'm calling it. Tisha Torres by knockout. First knockout of her career.
Yeah, man.
Get behind me, everybody. BJPenn.com. Get behind me. Tisha by knockout. Hashtag.
Five and 1 in the UFC versus $12 and 4. Yeah, still just waiting on the next fight. Of course, the faster these knockouts go, the more you'll get to hear us.
Isn't that so exciting today? What is that?
I don't know. Nobody.
What's going on in current event, Reg? I know you're always super up on the current events. What's going on?
Well, yeah, I was looking at it. There's, I guess they're trying to get Conor back in, right? I mean, any money is good for anybody. So, and whoever gets to fight him. So, it's good for whoever gets to fight him too. And
Mayweather versus
and the UFC. So maybe it'll happen. But yeah, they want to make a 165-pound division. UFC's, I guess that we have a article here. The starting lineup of UFC's hypothetical 165 division. Let's see what this is about. Okay, so there it is. Ali Abdelaziz. I don't know if this is a tweet or whatever. It says, when Conor called the UFC, he asked him, create a 165-pound belt. He thinks Dana White was born yesterday. This is fact. Waiting for response, Mr. Helwani. Beef is real. Hashtag. Well, interestingly enough, the top 5 people we got here is Jorge Masvidal, Kevin Lee, Cowboy Cerrone, Nate Diaz, and of course McGregor. So that would be all the hypothetical guys. So one of these guys could get that lucky fight, and yeah, I guess it's fun. I guess the best thing about Conor is he just goes there and he just puts on a pretty good show. You know, it's always, I don't really see him running away from the guy. I don't see him hiding and ducking in the corner. You know, he's right there, and it's always a pretty fun show to watch it from the beginning to end. You know, so we'll see what happens. Oh, here we go. We're being announced. Fighting Spirit stats. Number 5, Tisha Torres, second longest active win streak in the UFC strawweight division. Okay, I missed the rest.
She's landed the most strikes in women's strawweight history, like 600 something punches. She's landed the most out of any female strawweight fighter.
So yeah, I guess that'll happen. You know, if you're in there the longest, you should get those highest numbers. Oh, yeah, but yep, Andrade looks ready. She's number 2. Largest total strike differential, plus 194. Landed at least 2 takedowns in every strawweight fight. 13th UFC fight tonight. Yeah, she looks very serious. She doesn't look like she's going to play games. She doesn't look like she wants to be in there for a decision. So, yeah.
Sporting some Polynesian tattoo. So here it is. Jessica Andrade, 26, 5'1 and a half. 116 pounds, 62-inch reach. Tisha Torres, 28 years old, 5'1", 116 pounds, 60 and a half inch reach. So 1.5 inch reach advantage for Jessica Andrade. Everything else is virtually identical. Bruce Buffer making the announcement. We're almost ready to go. What do you think, bro? If you have to choose?
Well, Frick, yeah, I'd have to say Andrade looks very, very
scary for a chick.
Yeah. Tisha Torres doesn't seem to be backing down. She's ready. She knows what she can do. And yeah, this is going to be interesting.
10-1, 5'1", 116 pounds, fighting out of Colorado Springs. This is the Tiny Tornado, Tisha Torres, representing American Top Team. It's a little confusing when they say fighting out of Colorado when she's training in Florida, yeah? Or is she training in Colorado now?
Yeah, every time they come back to Andrade, she did not take her eyes for a second. It looked like, okay, she just kneeled down, but.
Number 2, Jessica Andrade, 17-6, 5'1 and a half, 116 pounds, fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Man, she looks
maybe
focused.
A prayer she's doing on one knee, one foot up, elbow resting on her leg that's up. Now she looks more relaxed now. See what happens. Kevin McDonald, referee, is gonna bring them together in round 1 card. Okay. Here we go. She's fixing her shorts. Okay, they touch gloves in the middle. And Torres with a couple jabs, just trying to feel it out, jumping in and out with a jab. Nothing really yet. Andrade just trying to parry with her other hand, block the right with her left hand. Ooh, an inside kick lands for Andrade. And Andrade pressing forward. Oh, a big right hand lands for Torres and shifts Andrade. Another big right hand lands for Andrade. And Andrade comes rushing in with 2 left hooks that hit the side of the arm. Another right hand almost lands for Andrade. And Torres just keeps pressing forward, though. Torres still right. Torres. Yeah, sorry, guys. Torres. Her rights are landing for Torres. Andrade's been getting hit for a little bit. So, yeah, but Andrade still keeps pressing forward. Andrade just started, maybe she might have the distance now. She just parried a punch, and now she's coming in with 2 left hooks, trying to bully Torres against the cage. And Torres just circles away, and she just keeps slowly backing up and trying to rush in with that right hand. And Andrade keeps pressing forward. Andrade right in her face. Right there, left hook, right hand by Torres.
She wants that knockout, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and Torres might feel something. Oh, another left hand lands for Torres, and a right and a left. Ooh, almost hurt Andrade. It looks. Andrade seems a little more wobbly. Her hand's a little low. Another left in her right in her face, but Andrade just presses forward. Torres going side to side, looking for an angle, and Andrade right in her face, kind of just trying to parry. 2 left hooks land for Andrade, and Andrade misses with another left hook as Torres circles away back to the center of the cage. Torres right in her face, just looking her right in the eyes. Andrade looking for it. Another right hand almost lands for Torres. Andrade barely blocks it by putting her left arm up. Andrade still pressing forward. Another right hand almost lands for Torres, and Andrade comes bullying forward with a left hook and a right hand, but hit there. And a left hand lands for Andrade, and she still bullies forward, and Torres starts backing up. Backing up right hand lands for Torres, and a right hand lands for Andrade, and they both circle back into the center, and a right hand to the body and a left hand just misses for Andrade, and Andrade still pressing forward. A right hand right on the chin for Torres lands, and another right hand on the chin, and Andrade still coming forward with left hooks and right hands, pressing forward the whole time. Torres having to kind of keep a fast pace, trying to get away, to keep away from her. Andrade right in her face, just gets her with a left hand jab. And Torres has to keep backing up. Torres on the back line. Another left and a right lands for Torres. And Andrade comes bullying forward with rights and another right hook. And a right to the body. And a left hand lands for Andrade. And it backs up towards his head. And Torres now still circling, kind of keeping down that black line, not letting her get her all the way to the cage, and always trying to keep in that black line. Slowly backing up, throwing some jabs. Andrade right in her face. Still pressing forward. No shots yet. A left hook. 2 left hooks missed for Andrade. Kind of as she lunged forward. And a right hand just misses for Torres, and a left hook, and Torres dodges a left hook after that. Torres still backing up, still trying, very accurate with her right hand. Another 2 right hands land for Torres, but Andrade doesn't seem to be phased too much. She just, whether she's hurt or not, she's just still pressing forward and coming back with just as hard punches. Oh, two right hands from Andrade, and now Andrade finally gets her into the cage as Torres tries to wizard her and get one arm on her neck to keep her away. Andrade using a lot of energy to try and take her down, and Torres spins out, and now they're back to the center of the cage. Torres with some jabs as she backs away, trying to reclaim the middle. Torres still backing up, circling to the side now so she won't get pushed outside the black line. And Andrade pushing forward. Oh, 2 left hooks by Andrade. Just grazed the chin of Torres, and she just backs out of it and gets away. Oh, and a right hand lands for Andrade. And another right hand and another left hook just misses for Andrade. And Torres is now kind of backpedaling a little bit more. Andrade right, still standing her ground. Torres back, trying to find an angle, circles back into the middle. And Andrade kind of pacing forward, not really cutting her off well, just kind of following her. Another right hand lands for Torres, and Andrade almost throws Torres to the ground, and a right hook, and a right hand and a left hook, and another left hook, and a right to the body by Andrade, a knee to the body by Andrade, and a right hook just misses for Andrade. And Torres comes in with her own left and a right, and she gets hit with a right hook and a knee to the body by Andrade. And both women still in the center of the cage, not really giving an inch. Torres just circling around, keeping that center. And she just misses with the left jab, and Andrade with a right to the body and a left hook to the head, and Torres catches her with a right hook to the head, and Andrade walks through it, coming up with her own left hook and a right hand, and they clinch up in a tie clinch, and Torres just pushes her away and steps away. Andrade still pressing forward on the black line now, keeping Torres behind the black line. Torres has to come forward, trying to clinch up with some knees and some right hands. And Andrade gets a double leg, picks her up, and slams her on the ground with some 1-2 hammer fist. And inside control, Andrade gets the takedown, proving her score is no fluke. And the referee stops the contest.
Man, a whole lot of action in that first round. Tisha Torres it seems like her game plan has been to kind of just expect that rushing bull rush of hooks from Jessica Andrade and land some short strikes on the way in. And she's doing a very good job at that. I think she needs to be a little careful that one of those big shots from Andrade don't land. Actually, a few of them have landed, and I think that Andrade showed to be rocked once or twice more than Tisha Torres did. Both girls landing punches. Tisha Torres landing the more effective of the punches, a little bit on her bicycle running backwards, landing punches as Andrade is rushing her forward. Andrade pulls a nice double leg at the end of the round, keeping up to her stat. She gets at least 2 takedowns a fight. Or 2 takedowns a round or 2 takedowns a fight?
I think a fight.
Yeah, 2 takedowns a fight. So all she needs is 1 more, and she stays on her average. But, man, interesting fight so far. Lots of big punches being thrown. Hopefully that they put a little more power on it. We see somebody go to sleep.
Well, yeah, she was catching, even though Andrade got that takedown and kept moving forward, man, Torres was pushing forward, and it looked like at some moment she
lighted her up at some point.
Yeah. Okay, and here we go. They're both ready. Andrade immediately nods her head and smiles. No problem for her. Her conditioning is there. They make her step behind the line real quick, and here we go. They're touching hands, and let's do it. 4:57. As the clock comes up, Andrade trying to press forward, no action yet. Torres backing up. They kind of knee each other's knees as they kind of clash together. A jab misses for Andrade. A right kick lands for Torres. Not too hard, though. Torres now trying to paw some jabs in the front of Andrade's face. Not much. Oh, a left high kick for Torres, but Andrade easily misses it. Andrade trying to rush forward, just punches and kicks, almost just lunging at her, not worried about anything. And yeah, that's pretty much the fight. Torres gets an inside leg kick. Torres still backing up, still trying to work an angle, staying inside the black line. Side kick there to keep her away. And Andrade just almost constantly walking forward. If Torres stops, she knows she's going to have to get into that clinch, I think, and go for and then the takedown's almost inevitable. So she's just trying to backpedal, throw lefts and jabs and right hands to keep her away. Oh, finally, Andrade bullies her into the cage with right hooks. 2 right hooks and a left hook, and now she has her against the cage. 1 arm under, other hand. Oh, now she got the double leg as Torres is trying to keep her from getting the takedown. Andrade going very hard for the takedown, lifts her up on her shoulder, Matt Hughes style, and just throws her down pretty easily into the 69 position, north-south position. and lands 2 body shots immediately and starts trying to soften her up. Torres does have her legs wrapped around her head and her arm, but so it will take her a second for Andrade to get her head out. But yeah, here she goes. She's doing everything correctly, slowly slipping out, not trying to rush it. Slowly slips out, and now she finally gets side control. Oh, but Torres immediately locks her back up into so her head is stuck again. And now Torres lands a couple of shots from this kind of strange north-south position where Torres has her head. But Andrade finally just bullies out of there. Has to use a little more energy than she wanted to get out. And now she has the side control on top, pulls her away from the cage, totally showing her technique, not letting her have a good angle for anything. And now she's trying to work some hammer fist. But Torres, excellent guard, gets her guard back in, starts and pushes Andrade up and immediately goes to a kick to her face. Andrade tries to pull away, grabbing her feet, trying to throw her feet, trying to land a big punch, but now standing above her. Torres not letting her come down, drop her guard into her guard, just keeps kicking her away, kicking out her feet, making her back up. And Torres kicks her and gets back up and grabs her head and throws a knee to the body and pushes her away and circles back to the center. 224. But Andrade right in the middle and gets caught with a jumping in right hand by Torres, though. But just walks right through it. Same thing, still walking through, throwing big right hands, and a left hook lands for Andrade. But she did get caught by Torres with the right hand. And another right hand by Torres, and another right hand. But Andrade just walks forward, missing her own right hooks, and just doesn't seem to affect her, walking right through everything. As Torres just keeps trying to backpedal and throw jabs right at, and Andrade's getting her to the fence now, trying to cut her off a little better, actually keeping her on the fence, a left hook and a right to the body, and now she got her against the fence, going everything for a single leg on Torres. Torres trying to get on her back. She may almost be on her back, and Andrade easily just kind of fireman throws her over her shoulders, and now Torres trying to get to her hands and knees. Torres in an almost turtle up position, one knee on the ground, one leg up, and Torres against the cage. She stands up against the cage. Andrade not giving her much space, trying to hold her from the back, 2 arms on there. Torres perfectly switches out, gets the whizzer back, and now she has her against the cage. Andrade trying to get a double leg, now switching to a single leg, and Torres again going to her back, and Andrade immediately slams her again back to the ground, throwing body shots to her ribs, and goes back into Torres's guard, not letting her make space. Torres immediately keeping an open guard and going for an armbar is Torres. And Andrade immediately has to defend. She was trying to throw some hammer fist. Boom. She tries to pick up the slammer, but Torres lets go and lands an up kick on Andrade before she can get into her guard while she was standing. Good timing. Torres using an excellent guard right now, going for a triangle right now, not letting her. Andrade trying to pick her up to slam her, but Torres grabbing her leg from the triangle position, trying to switch to an omoplata, and Andrade pulls out, and Torres flips back to her feet, going over and gets to her feet, and now pushes Andrade to the fence. But Andrade still pushes her off, throws her to the side, and puts all her weight on her as Torres can only turn up beneath her. Torres, though, finding the fence, standing up against the fence, kind of angles out and now pushes Andrade against the fence. And it's now Torres pressing Andrade with both arms on there, going for a leg around her, but she could get thrown again here. She's now on Andrade's back as they're both standing, and Andrade is trying to get her off her back, but now Torres is going for a takedown, and the round ends.
Yeah, much stronger round for Jessica Andrade. She's strong. It's obvious she's strong. She's stronger than Tecia Torres. Tecia Torres also had an amazing round, landing some big strikes. Showed some amazing grappling ability with her guard against the jiu-jitsu black belt. Good up kick. She had a couple armbar attempts, closed up a triangle real quick, pushes her right off, gets back to her feet. But much better round for Andrade with big takedowns, big slams, and a little bit more cage control there in the second. So if you ask me, I got them at around the piece. It's looking very interesting going into the third round. Lots of action. Very interesting fight. Good co-main event.
Yeah, you can kind of see at the very end of that round, Tecia knew she had to do something and didn't want to leave there with energy to spare. You could kind of see that. She's been in there for many decisions, and she knows she has to freaking use that energy. You don't want to be going home and be like, oh, let's go work out. Better to have that victory or the loss, and you really left it all in the ring.
It did appear she was hunting for that knockout a lot more in the first round. She was landing some bigger shots in the first round. I think that she came in throwing those big shots and was getting taken down in this round, so it kind of messed her up a little bit.
Going in. Here we go. They start off. They give a big hug in the center of the cage. And immediately they back up. They kind of touch hands again to make sure they know that they're fighting. And Torres immediately lands a low kick on Andrade. And Andrade is now ready to go. Moving forward now. No more games. Boom. 2 left hooks miss for Andrade. She bullies her down and almost just bum rushes her to the ground and immediately gets a single leg against the cage as Torres did fall to the ground, tried to get up against the fence. And now Torres fighting all her might to get up. She has one knee on, trying to get Andrade in a guillotine, but now it looks like Andrade could get the full mount here as Torres only has her head. But no, Torres goes back to guard, and now Torres going to Andrade's back, and Torres gets back to her feet, and both women back on their feet. And Andrade goes for some body shots and just bullies Torres back to the cage and has her against the cage, trying to throw knees to the leg. She knows she has to she knows she has to win this round, but right to the body now. Boom, putting all her weight on her, not giving Torres any space. And Torres, she noticed Torres is about to break, so she pushes her away to try to push her down again. Andrade. Both women back to the center of the cage. Torres with the jab. Andrade with the Daniel San kick to the head, just missing on Torres. And Andrade is going for a shot, slapping Torres' leg and trying to hit her with a left hook. She's already tried that a few times in this fight. Andrade still pressing forward. Torres trying to stay inside the black line, but now she's getting backed up to the black line. Andrade really well cutting off the ring, not giving her space. Torres tries to get her a 1-2, and Andrade ducks and gets her body lock and picks up and slams her. And Torres immediately jumps to her feet, runs to the cage, and Andrade just kind of holding her on the back against the cage right now. Torres gets the cage. Andrade with the body shot, a knee shot to the body, and Torres immediately goes for a single leg and kicks her leg out as Torres tried to get her hand on the fence. And Andrade jumps on top of her into half guard, trying to hit her with her right hand as they're both against the cage. But it's actually Andrade on top against the cage, and Torres smartly didn't let her get her head stuck against the cage. Andrade gets a right hand, a second right hand, and a third right hand lands for Andrade as Torres now tries to throw an up kick on Andrade, and a right hammer fist lands for Torres from the bottom, and Andrade passes to half guard now. Andrade in the half guard, trying to throw some hammer fist. A right hand hammer fist lands, a left to the body, 2 right hammer fist land, and another left to the body as she's in Torres' left side half guard. Andrade on top, trying to maybe go for a key lock. Nope, just trying to hold her hand and hammer fist her with her right hand, holding her other arm. Boom, more hammer fist as Torres can try all her might to get up and get out of that position as her arm was trapped. Andrade kind of bullying her down, right arm in her neck, holding her down in place in her half guard, hitting her with the body with the left hand, keeping all her weight on her. 2 minutes left, another 2 lefts, 3 lefts to the body. 1-2 hammer fist from Andrade on top. Big round for Andrade. 2 more lefts to the body for Andrade as Torres is probably feeling the weight of Andrade now. Andrade immediately passes Torres' guard as she did a couple hammer fists. Notice Torres a little too relaxed maybe, and now in half guard, trying to make something happen, trying to get the mount, holding her arm down, trying to better the position. Torres smartly has her in a whizzer, even though she's on the bottom, not letting her get her right arm out. Oh, she finally gets her right arm out. Now she's got her hammer fist coming down on her again from side control now. Torres trying hard to regain guard, trying to strip out. She does. She's almost got her guard back. 1 knee in, but Andrade switches her hips and lands back into side control nicely. Andrade holding her strong. Torres boosts out and gets back to her feet as she went to guard, kicked her onto her stomach to get back to her feet. But Andrade immediately bullies her to the fence and starts trying to land a head and arm, knees to the head. Andrade, then again, as soon as Torres pulls her head out, Andrade immediately shoots for a double leg, switches it to a single, and brings her back to the canvas. Torres, though, immediately sweeps her, gets on top, almost gets her back, trying to stay on top. Andrade now standing up with Torres kind of on her back. Torres going for the arm right now, trying to get the Kimura possibly. Andrade trying to not let her happen. Finally, Andrade has the strength and Torres falls off her back. And Andrade now on top, immediately ground and pound. More hammer fist with the left hand right now. 20 seconds left. Torres, though, doing a good job getting back to her guard, kicking at her head, getting back to her feet with 13 seconds left. Andrade immediately bullying her back down and immediately throwing her back down with another kind of judo trip. And Passing to half guard. Few seconds left. Right, 3, 4, 5 rights to the body, and the referee stops the fight. Is this A too heavy? No, it's only an A2. Is that yours? Is yours an A2?
Hello.
Or JD? JD's an A2. How do you know if this thing's working? There, your mic. It's moving. It's working.
But then this mute thing says it's still moving.
Okay, you want to sign us back off?
Where we at?
Apologize for the technical technical difficulties, boys and girls. We're back. If you were listening to me the whole time, sorry, the meter wasn't telling me that you could hear me, so we have to go ahead and fix that. Going into the main event real soon. Right now, they're doing a little advertisements for Anna Kanutskaya versus Chris Cyborg Evangelista.
What do you think about that, Anchi?
I mean, Kunitskaya is tough, and everybody's saying, she could be doing the upset of the world. And there's a reason they're calling it an upset of the world because nobody's expecting her to win. So, well, she's tough. She's just 135er, though. The last time I saw her fight, she fought Raquel Pennington in a war. Raquel shows a lot of heart. Shout out to Raquel. But yeah, she won a decision versus Raquel Pennington straight into the fight. Big, huge title fight in the UFC. Man, it's going to be tough. It's going to, from that Invicta main event to that UFC main event, it's a big difference. But it looks like she's been doing a lot of training with Holly Holm and the team at Jackson Wink, and they're so well known for getting people to where they need to be. But who knows? This will be the first time that Jackson Wink has. Oh no, they actually Holly faced the second time that Jackson Wink has faced Cyborg. Not so good on the first outing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea to have her training with the person that last fight her, because I'm sure Holly was over there,
You've got the Magic Man, Jason Perillo, in the corner of Chris Cyborg. But like I was saying last week, man, I just kind of wish they would chill on rushing Cyborg into fights and just kind of pick up on this 145 female division. So it's more acceptable when they're like, okay, here's another 135er coming in for the 145-pound title. Let's go ahead and create a 145-pound division so that it's not like we're looking at more 135ers coming in to fight at 145 for the title. That's the only thing that I have with it is be like, how many fights does Yana have at 145? Does she have a bunch of fights at 145? If she does, they're not fights that I know about. I think the UFC has to take it upon themselves to make that 145 division known. I mean, that's just my take on it. Yeah, we're looking in on Kunitskaya a little bit. And
yeah, it looks like she's mostly 135.
All 135, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, she's walking into a fight with the 145-pound champion. Hey, and also they're showing here that
did they give her
Mackenzie Dern will be making her UFC debut above Beneil Dariush, which is interesting.
Here it is, Josh Emmett.
13-1. 13-1. It's just hard to recognize because I don't really recognize too many Josh Emmett. Not too many of Josh Emmett's opposition. Yeah, I know I've seen Jeremy Stevens from back in the day when I was cornering in the UFC with Kendall. I think that a lot of Emmett's success has been more recent than that. That's for sure. Since, let's see here. Yeah, he's been there since 2016 only.
Only lost is a split decision.
To Desmond Green back in April of 2017. Healthy list of wins there for him.
Oh, but was that at 155 though?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, maybe he went down in weight.
Not there. And
it is the main event. Jeremy Stephens, aka who the fuck is that guy? Probably outside of his amazing victories that he's brought to the table recently, that's what he's most well known for, right? With all the new the new UFC fan base that actually may not recognize some of the veterans like Jeremy Stephens. That whole episode with Conor McGregor and saying that, you know, he knocks people and they don't move. Who the fuck is that guy? Jeremy Stephens. He kept on it. Jeremy Stephens actually got with Conor's mom, took a picture and says, "Your mom knows who I am." That was kind of good media, I guess. Josh Emmett, one of the big boys there at Team Alpha Male. You don't hear about too many guys up there. What Taruto's a 145er. What other 145ers they got? Darren Elkins, is he 145? Do they have any like light heavyweights over there?
Yeah, what about Mendez, 145?
Yeah, Mendez.
Definitely. Andrew Coyne.
But you figure, like even looking at 155ers, they have what?
Itachi.
2 155ers, and that's the heavy guys for Emmett to train with over there. That bring, you know, an MMA background to the table anyway. It's a long list of lighter guys over there. Pardon my voice. I was yelling at T-ball all day today in this less than desirable weather. Just like to thank you for joining in. A lot of quick fights today. You know, looking back, Mike Perry, he lost the decision. That was an exciting fight. I joined that fight a little late. Came in on the second round, and I saw that Max Griffin was outstriking him, and he dropped him once. Ended up Mike Perry losing the decision to Max Griffin, and then we got into Ovin St. Preux, got choked out. No, I mean sleeping when he fought Ilir Latifi. Choke him on second round that fight.
Ilir?
Or was it a first round submission or first round tech submission? And that went into the female bout with Tisha Torres and Jessica Andrade. Very exciting fight, back and forth, another decision fight for Tisha Torres. Unfortunately, this one doesn't go under the win column. And now we're looking at the main event. The Twitter poll says Jeremy Stephens is going to win at 67% to 33%. People think that Stephens is going to win it. I've also heard some.
Who's going to be going forward? You think? That's what I seen with Lamas. Looked like he was kind of pushing forward on that one.
Emmett was.
Yeah. Well, Emmett's the number 4.
Is Stephens going to back up?
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, Stephens is ranked 8th. Josh Emmett catapulted ahead of him.
That's what I mean. One fight changes everything. And don't expect Ilir. He might catapult a little bit. Huh?
Yeah. And Stephens is the minus 150 over one minus 150 favorite. I was about to say overdog. That's where my head's at.
Well, interesting enough. When you have your hands down, like I was just kind of watching the Emmett's fight with Lamas, and yeah, it looked like he was just hands down, not worried about anything. But
Katunk.
What do you think? Should you do that with Stephens or?
Yeah, man. Jeremy Stephens, he brings the thunder. He's had some decisions too, though, in his last few. So I mean, it's not like he just comes out and guarantees going to sweep everybody. Sometimes he gets into some wars that takes him into the 3rd, 5th.
Yeah, well, yeah, just I guess it's kind
it has
of
the potential.
Right?
It has the potential, and I think it'd be huge if Emmett comes out and sleeps him too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I guess almost like whoever lands first, right? Who's gonna be like, oh, that was nothing, or
And now looking back though,
pushing forward.
I mean, he had that huge KO. He had that huge KO with Lamas, but looking back at the last few have been decisions. Since his last fight before he got into the UFC, that was the last time he had TKO'd somebody. So I mean, it's not like this guy is just come in as the Terminator, knocking people out. You know? But with their highlights, it shows it has that kind of potential. So we'll see what's gonna happen.
You're right, 7 decisions.
Yeah. 7 decisions versus 4 KOs, 2 submissions for Emmett in that 13-1 record.
Okay, it looked like he was doing some pretty cool trips or whatever.
Yeah, his wrestling is G. His wrestling is good too.
How's Stefan's defense?
Shucks. I mean, if he's not a super good wrestler himself, he's fought some super good wrestlers. I don't think this guy's going to show him anything that he hasn't faced. Pardon us as we focus in on the highlight reels ourselves here.
There he was, Dos Anjos, former champs.
I think that one went to decision though. That fight. He hurt him, but I don't think he knocked him out. This was a TKO versus Dennis Bermudez, jumping knee, finished with strikes.
Was that later rounds?
They looked pretty hot.
Round 3. Beginning of round 3.
He's been around, man. I think he's been up and down from what, 145. Did he ever fight at 35s too? He did. I had him out. That was in 35s, huh? No,
when was that?
That was after Holloway.
Where do you see that? Oh yeah. Maybe Hennon went up, right? Because remember he was having some weight issues for a bit.
Still, something's telling me that he had been down at 35 before. Maybe not. So Little Heathen making the walk first, number 8 ranked, fighting. He was born in Des Moines, Iowa, sporting the Abraham Lincoln beard, which several fighters are rocking in the UFC these days.
Yes, Little Heathen's in there first, but everybody thinks he's gonna win, huh?
I've heard even on podcasts and such. I know Matt Serra was saying that he took Heathen. A lot of people, a lot of the fighter reactions have been going on the Heathen side of things. We'll see though. I don't have any idea who's gonna win this one.
Here we are, number 8, Stefan's last fight. Troy by knockout, 18 wins by knockout. Total fight time in the UFC, 4th in the history, 5 hours, 39 minutes, 29 seconds. So he has been in that cage, 4th most in the UFC history. Not just for this division. It's pretty impressive.
I wasn't there for 15 minutes, man. No. A little more.
Close to 20.
24 minutes or something.
Yeah, 30. Plus the
5 hours of fight time.
Who knows if fight time.
Jeez. If you count the cornering, though,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. What about the cornering?
Stevens. I might have 5 hours of time in there. Nah, not even that. That's a lot of time in the cage. 5 hours in the cage, bro. How much fights that is? Are they counting cornering too? How many fights have Stevens cornered? Josh Emmett making the walk.
This fight time, yeah.
5 hours, man. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of footage.
I want BJ's stat on that one.
It's a lot of footage to study there. It's
a lot of decisions. It's got to be. 5-round decision.
Or late round finishes too.
Yeah. Josh Emmett making the walk. Seems pretty calm. I'm surprised. Yeah, well, he's ranked number 4, which is probably why he's coming out second. I'm surprised he's coming out second.
They're hooking him up. They got his Josh Emmett UFC. Must be popular on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, check him out. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, they're promoting they're letting people brand like that. That's great. First time I seen that, I think.
But you couldn't put that before.
Well, I don't know.
I come from the age where we're
not on like a live Fox UFC. I don't remember. Yeah,
we weren't cool enough to ask us what our social media sites were back then. But so wait, you're saying that as a fighter, we're not supposed to put.
Well, I
never Penn UFC.
Well, they don't let you wear your shirt on the thing, so I just don't. But any kind of self-promotion like that is great.
His shirt that he's wearing, you mean?
Well, right, it's not. Oh, they don't have to do the Reeboks anymore?
No, well, Reebok makes it. Since this new hypercolor looking uniform, the main event shirts.
Right. That's what I mean. That Reeboks doesn't make that. That's just his personal Twitter.
No, they make it.
What, his Twitter account?
Oh, no, what, his shirt or his
Twitter account?
Oh, his shirt.
Oh, I was wondering what you were talking about. No, yeah, his Twitter account is what I mean. Yeah. It's cool that they let you self-promote like that.
Every fight had them.
All the fighters,
all their social. That's every fight period does it now. When they're walking, if they're showing their entrance, it shows their Twitter handle.
Oh, that's super good.
Every fight, and it's been like that. I know on a pay-per-view side for a long time. And that's what's something I was always like, how come they never advertised our social media
right,
sites, rude doggy at MySpace vibes, that's what was kicking when I was out.
Or maybe this is just the new WME thing then.
What? No.
No?
Because it was maybe just when Twitter started exploding more, I guess they started putting the social media stuff, because it was shortly after I had been released that they started.
Okay, here we go. What do we got? Tell of the tape.
Yeah, you got Josh Emmett, ranked number 4, age 32, 5'6.5", 146 pounds, 70-inch reach, versus Jeremy Stephens, ranked number 8, 31 years old, 5'8.5", 146 pounds with a 71-inch reach. So you got 1 inch of reach for Jeremy Stephens, a little bit of height, I think, for Emmett. Was it? Pretty close in the tail of the tape coming into this fight. Yeah, man. Dan the Tan Miragliata will be calling the action inside the cage tonight. Let's hope for some fireworks, because other than his last fight, he's brought a lot of decisions to the table, has Josh Emmett. And Jeremy Stephens coming up, always bringing the thunder with the knockout punches. What did it say? 18 wins by knockout? 15? Something or other? Yeah. 18 wins by knockout, 2 submissions, 7 decisions. 27-14, 5'8.5", 146 pounds for Jeremy Stephens. He's fighting out of San Diego, California. 5'8". So he's not giving up height. Little Heathen, they call him. Been around the UFC for a really long time. He's got 5 hours of fight time inside the cage. Josh Emmett, he's actually the shorter man, 5'6.5". His MMA record's 13-1, 146 pounds, fighting out of Sacramento, California, giving up about 1.5 inches in height. And we're just about ready to go. Both men looked pumped. Looks like Jeremy Stephens has seen a little bit more of the tanning booth this winter. as Miragliotta faces them off. Little intensity as the fighters touch gloves back up into their corners. Miragliotta's checking with the timekeeper. And we are underway.
Okay, they touch hands in the middle. Josh Emmett immediately backs out of the black line, moving very quickly in, out. No punches yet, just kind of moving left, right, circling, almost half circling the cage. Now he just threw a couple jabs, trying to get more in the face of Stephens. Stephens not backing up, though, still pressing forward. Emmett on the black line, kind of moving in and out of the inside of the black line. Stephens just standing his ground, changing levels with Emmett as Emmett changes his levels. And Emmett's just still back and forth, finding an angle. Still not really many punches thrown yet. They're just standing in front of each other. Finally, a first punch, I think, by Stephens, a jab, as Emmett kind of dodges out of the way. A right low kick misses for Stephens as Emmett tries to counter with the right hook. A low left kick lands for Emmett to the inside of Stephens. Stephens immediately returns a kick to the body, left kick to the body. Emmett tries to find an angle, pushing forward. Stephens counters away, circles away. Now Stephens back, pressing forward, 3 minutes, 56 seconds. Tries to get a high kick on Emmett. Emmett circles out of the way and gets back inside the circle. Stephens lands a right uppercut, and boom, it might have poked the eye of Emmett. And as Emmett said, he's fine, he's okay. And now they start forward. Stephens immediately keeping him outside the black line, keeping the pressure on Stephens. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. Stephens trying to switch his stance, fake some shots possibly. Emmett was, and Stephens lands a body shot. Stephens gets kicked to the groin by Emmett. Left front kick, and they stop the time. What do you think, T?
Not too much going on. Little kicks going for the legs and pawing out to get some distance, but nothing too much going on as we head back into the action.
Okay, he's back in 3:25. They touch gloves, and Emmett immediately back to his thing, but back and forth, left and right, circling now in and out, not really throwing any punches, but maybe trying to look for an opening in Stephens. Stephens just standing real calm, cautious, right in front of him and not budging. Emmett tries to get a left high kick, and Stephens just blocks it. Now Stephens pushing forward with a jab, gets Emmett to the cage, jabs him to the cage, and lets him back out. Emmett, though, still staying outside the black line, still moving quickly, no punches, tries to maybe come in with a flying knee. Stephens catches him with a body kick, and Emmett tries to return a right hand, which Stephens dodges. And now Stephens immediately starts pressuring him again, has to dodge under Emmett's left hand that he tries, and now pressures again, keeping him on the black line. Right in front of him, Emmett still kind of just almost like a wrestling mentality, moving his head back and forth, no real punches yet, and just trying to find some distance. Tries to rush in with a left hook and gets caught by a right hand from Stephens. And now he's still backing up on the cage, nowhere to go. Stephens tries to throw a left knee and slips and tries to circle away, possibly hurt his knee on that one. A right uppercut and a left hook. He looks like he's kind of walking a little differently, but who knows? He's still pressing forward, though. Emmett, though, still keeping his fast pace of left and right. Stephens, though, back on the pressure, trying to keep forward. Okay, he looks okay, Stephens. He tries a left and a right, and Emmett's not really moving, trying to just stay there, kind of blocks it. Right in front of his face, Stephens not throwing any punches. Now Emmett kind of pressuring him, backs up Stephens a little bit. Stephens now has to immediately return a jab and start pressuring him back. A right hand lands for Emmett to the body. 1 minute, 45 seconds. And Stephens now can't find him. Emmett, and as I say, that left hook and a right hand, and another jab lands for Stephens and backs Emmett's head up. And Stephens immediately notices, presses forward, gets him back out of the black line, and lands a left to the body and kind of knocks Emmett into the cage. Stephens now pushing forward still, throwing a kind of fake jab, and Emmett has to kind of circle away. Still outside the black line, though. Minute, 20 seconds. Emmett tries to jump in with the left, right, and Stephens counters with a right uppercut. Emmett still trying to circle out, gets to the cage. And a big right hand lands for Emmett and knocks Stephens to the ground. Emmett immediately pounces onto Stephens in his half guard. Minute, 6 seconds left. Emmett with a big right hand. Stephens trying to get up, holding his left hand and keeping his half guard. Emmett lands 2 big right elbows and tries to pass
Stephens guard. Stephens rolls to his knees and gets out, and he's back on his feet. 47 seconds. A right hand from Emmett, and Stephens now is pressing forward. Boom, 43 seconds left. Boom, Stephens. Emmett's trying to point to the ground. Stephens didn't acknowledge it and still presses forward. 35 seconds left. Emmett out of the black line, right against the cage. Stephens right in front of him. Something could happen right now. 30 seconds left. Emmett has to throw a jumping high kick and tries to fake his head side to side as he possibly was trying for a takedown. Stephens has to back away, but now Stephens pressing forward. 20 seconds left. Emmett kind of circling now faster with his hands down to the side. Tries to throw a right low kick. Stephens leg checks it. So Stephens immediately pressing forward. Emmett on the black line, moving side to side, not letting Stephens chop him against the cage. A left high kick attempt. Stephens blocks. Now his return. Stephens returns with his own left high kick, which is blocked. And now the round ends against the cage.
And Josh Emmett getting a little cocky in there, pointing around, pointing to the ground. I think he pointed at his corner at one point. Blitzing in for some big shots. Jeremy Stephens just stalking him, constantly standing right in front of him. And then Emmett blitzing in. Landed a big shot on him, dropped Stephens for a moment. Stephens popped right back up. Absolutely no wrestling going on in this fight so far. Super exciting, though, because it looks like somebody's going to get slept. Right now, Jeremy Stephens, the only of the two to get hurt. Looking at the highlight right now, it was a real quick little right hook. Caught him right on the beard, sits him down. Yeah, man, it was great. Good shot for Josh Emmett. What, 10-9, huh? What do you think? You think that warranted a 10-8 on that knockdown?
Nah.
Probably a 10-8 round for Josh Emmett going into the second.
Wow. Yep. Little welt on the side of Emmett's head as they're getting ready. He's pacing back and forth. And boom, it starts. They're both men right in the center of the cage. Emmett tries a right hand, and Stephens goes for a knee to the body. Both men staying right in the center of the cage. Stephens now trying to press forward. Emmett now at the black line. 4 minutes, 45 seconds. Stephens trying to fake, trying to find an angle. Emmett kind of moving back and forth, circling, sidestepping to his left. Stephens with the inside low kick, still standing right in front of him. Emmett still trying to find an angle, circling right, left, trying to fake a kick and some kind of high kicks he's trying to fake. 4 minutes, 30 seconds left. Stephens trying to find his right hand. Can't do it. Emmett staying too far away for any of that. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left. Stephens punching at the air. Stephens lands a kick to the leg. Emmett lands a kick to the leg of Stephens, and Stephens tries to retaliate, but Emmett circles away. Stephens now with a right hand and a left hook and two jabs, pushing Emmett back away from him. 4 minutes, 5 seconds. Both men are back on the black line. A right hand lands for Emmett as Stephens just eats it, and now comes rushing in with his own right hand. Emmett circles away, and now just keeping confident and just keeping his distance, not wanting to engage too much with Stephens yet. 3 minutes, 50 seconds. Boom. Emmett going for a big right hand, misses as Stephens just ducks under it. Stephens still pressing forward, though. Emmett, inside low kick for Stephens as Emmett legs goes flying from it. 3 minutes, 39 seconds. Stephens trying to find an angle. Another right hand kind of lands to the back, and a big left hand lands for Stephens and drops Emmett. Emmett on the ground. Stephens, big left hand, and almost hits him with a right knee to the ground, but maybe it misses. And Stephens finishes it with a big right hand and some elbows.
Wow. Was there an illegal knee in there?
It looks possibly like there was an illegal knee. The ref didn't notice it. Maybe he threw it, but he noticed it was illegal. It didn't hit. But
I don't know, but man, see. Josh Emmett got just
the ref was right there,
barraged on. Let's go ahead and wait for this replay because I was just sitting there in awe.
You gotta always give the ref the benefit.
But I swear, at some quick second that he kneed him in the head when he was down on his knees, and if that's the case,
might have knocked him down though. I feel if he would have kneed him,
he wasn't down on his knees after when he was getting.
No, like it would have pushed him. We'll see. Yeah, we got to see it.
Let's see, guys.
You're right. We'll see what kind of jarring.
Because that's the kind of ending we're always hoping for.
Man,
beautiful.
Yeah, Stephens has been delivering.
Beautiful finish. I just want to see if there was this illegal knee in there. What do you see here, Reg?
Okay, here we go. Right hand and a big left hook right on the chin. Slowly putting Emmett down. Emmett falling against the cage. Here it is again. Right hand pushes Emmett's head up. Just as he tries to look up to see what happens, a left hook lands
Elbows,
right to the chin.
elbows,
and then right on top, left hand's elbows. Emmett gets to his knees. The right hand puts him back down. It almost looked like a knee. It was too fast, that part. Well, here we go again with, let me actually watch it a little better.
Watch his hand.
Right hand, left. He's coming up right here. This is where the knee would be. The knee would be.
Oh, man.
Oh, two knees almost. I don't know. Back of the head knees. Whoa. I don't know.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what how would you call this? How would you even call this? Because, bro, I don't care what. That was some illegal knees that the brother got hit with right there. Because
yeah, the guy should have got a second there, possibly.
Dan jumped in late. He got shot with two or three elbows after the illegal knee.
Yeah, should have had much promotion on it.
He should have had Dan the Tan's knee in his spine once that knee happened.
Yeah, big cheering, celebratory. Looked like Jeremy Stephens was in the crowd cheering with them. So yeah,
I'm just curious to hear what the
I don't know if they'll bring it up.
Going to be.
I don't know if they'll bring it up unless one of the corners is quick, can get in there before the Vegas guys pay it out.
Because honestly, folks, without that illegal knee, Josh Emmett had no chance of surviving that barrage, and I'm interested because they at least can have some type of case and protest that the fact that the fight wasn't stopped and that illegal knee happened. At least one of his knees were down on the mat when the knee was thrown, hit him in the kind of behind the ear, which is a horrible place to get hit from a knee. So I'm sure it knocked his equilibrium off even worse, to lead to that knockout where he was completely sleeping in need of some medical attention. Who knows what's going to happen then?
And yeah, when you're in there, you already took so much punishment. That stuff isn't going to help, but who knows what really caused any kind of damage. And yeah, big left hand, illegal knee.
The elbows is what really did the damage at the end, man, because he was stunned when he fell back
because of the
again.
knee too. So how does that add up? How does that all play into the whole?
But those the few elbows against the fence first, then the knee, and then he was bouncing his head off the mat with the last elbows. So, yeah.
So, with the ref, you said?
Well, it's just rough. I think that Dan should have jumped in once that knee happened, and at least then you could make some kind of call, whether it's a disqualification or. Yeah, because you need somebody in the head, they can't continue. It's automatically a disqualification. I don't think
didn't really slow motion it too much. It didn't seem that knee portion like how they
look at the controversy it's causing with us alone.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and the millions and millions.
Yeah, because once this announcement's read, everybody gets paid out, but.
He still looks happy, so I guess Buffer didn't have any bad news for him. Man.
Oh man. From the knee to all that post.
Emmett's face is definitely wearing that knockout. Yeah, he's not gonna like looking at himself in the mirror, but I don't know. It looks like Jeremy Stephens calling for the belt. I think he's using some interesting language doing so. He's now making some, what's that, the sign of the Illuminati?
Yeah, let's check out what they're saying real quick.
During that.
No, don't even touch that. Yeah, just talk.
During that interview, they talked about how Emmett did have him hurt. Jeremy Stephens is now claiming he is the hardest 145-pound puncher in the division, and he's kind of just he said that he had to get his wits about him after getting hit, and he's claiming he's unbreakable. But yeah. Impressive performance by Jeremy Stephens. And like he said, that guy wasn't moving after he hit him. He's begging for the title shot. He's down on his knees. He wants Holloway. He'll now be ranked, I believe, number 3. Is that what it's? Oh no, that's the longest active winning streak. Is he's got 3 wins, but he's asking for that title shot. I think what this pushes his ranking up to number 4 now. Does he take the other guys' rankings? I think they might have listed him as number 4th ranked after this, after he knocked him out. But yeah, man, that's that. Jeremy Stephens by knockout. What was it? Round 2, round 3, round 2?
Round 2, I think.
Thank you for joining us today. Looking forward to what's the next card? UFC 222?
Yeah, let's just check the next card real quick.
UFC 222, I believe.
Okay. Cyborg.
Yep, UFC 222, Cyborg versus Kunitskaya, March 3rd, Saturday. So we'll be here. BJ will be back. I think BJ's probably making his way out of the airport right now, so he wasn't able to join us today. But we will be back for UFC 222, covering all that action. We've got Kat Zingano versus Vieira. We got Stefan Struve versus Arlovsky. O'Malley, that Afro kid from Contender Series, he'll be fighting a Thai dude, and we got Frankie Edgar versus Ortega, super exciting fight. Big fight for Ortega, because he wins this fight, he's up next for the title, takes Frankie's shot away, and of course Kunitskaya versus Cyborg for the 145-pound women's title. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We will be back March 3rd to cover that UFC event. We appreciate you. Aloha.